Hello.
So I got you to watch Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, yeah.
I know. What did you think?
That was a strange movie.
My first reaction when I saw that movie was, what the heck did I just watch?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, what was that? It took me a long time to even process all the stuff that I saw.
Mhm.
Now, to be fair, going into it, I think the previews didn't really give much away. I think the previews, some people could call it misleading, but I call it, wow, what a
Well,
surprise. It was nothing that I was expecting.
mm,
I mean, the truth is, this movie is very difficult to categorize because it's a little bit of everything and nothing that you think it should be, and it doesn't fit into any one box.
yeah.
I thought it was very original. That's the only box I can say. It was original.
It was original. I think
How would you categorize it?
it reminded me of a Coen Brothers movie. Honestly,
But who directed this movie? Boots Riley.
mm.
First time directing a major picture. His debut.
And so I don't know. Should we talk about what the movie's about a little bit, or?
Well, we can talk about it a little bit. I would characterize it as a little bit of a satire, social commentary / sci-fi.
Yeah. There was, to me, there was a little bit of like Orwellian. Uh, a little bit of that in there, a little bit of Animal Farm, maybe even 1984, if you will. Uh,
This movie was chock full of symbolism, so much so that honestly, I think you have to see it twice. Because unless you know what you're watching when you go into it, you don't know to pay attention to all the things, the messages that are conveyed. Everything means something in that movie. And I'll be honest, I didn't catch everything first time around.
yeah,
I think I need to go back and watch it again.
yeah. I mean, you might would have to go. Now, a lot of it deals with like like different levels of consciousness, right?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, in a general term, it's sort of like a social commentary, right? It's a black satire. So there's comedy in it, but it's also sending you a message, right? And it's talking about, gosh, like maybe it's a lot of reviews have called it sort of like the anti-capitalism piece, and but the movie is really more than that, in my opinion. It's got a lot of messages, maybe too many messages, but I get it. I mean, he's trying to get it out there. There's a lot to take in, and I feel that, like I said, it's difficult to describe without giving everything away. Um, so let's talk about some of the characters. What do you think?
Yeah. So, of course, it had Tessa Thompson in it.
She seems to be in everything these days.
I'm a big fan of hers.
I like her. The movie focuses on the star. The main star, his name is Cassius Green. If you say it out loud really slow, you'll understand that there is symbolism even in the names of the characters. He plays Cassius Green.
Yeah.
And that's played by an actor called Lakeith Stanfield. And he was in Get Out. I don't know if you remember.
Was he?
Yeah,
I know I've seen him before.
I thought he did a phenomenal job in this movie. He really was quite compelling, and he was a great casting choice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But really, the story centers around him and how he basically goes from interviewing for a telemarketing job in a company, and it ascends his way all the way to what's called the power caller, the top echelon of that corporation called Regal View, and how it starts off a little bit with like a little bit of a satire regarding, use your white voice and if you really want to succeed in this world. And we see that throughout, but the movie is a lot more than that. And once he ascends to what they call in the movie the power caller, the top echelon of that company, you realize a lot of the social and ethical dilemmas he's faced with, choosing between what's good for you versus what's good for, let's say, the community at large. And, would you have the courage and the strength to do the right thing? I mean, sometimes you're you're given impossible choices and
Yeah.
doing what's right or doing what's best for you or what's easiest for you.
Or maybe not even what is best for you, but your peers and
And
the
best
people
for
in
your
your
fellow
community.
man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, and that was probably what I took away. A major theme of the movie is that. So we talked about it. He kind of climbs the corporate ladder, but at the same time he's doing this, there's like, people are trying to. His friends are trying to like organize a strike and
Right.
unionize and get
right, and get rights for everybody, not
Right.
just the few. Topic.
So
With respect to this movie, I mean, it really puts you in the shoes of having to make a difficult choice between what seems like on the surface something that would benefit you, but at the expense of everyone else that you work with or
Right.
people that you care about or your community. And so that's a tough choice. And we see Cassius Green struggle with that throughout the movie. And as the movie goes on, you see more and more how the choices he makes become even more difficult.
Sure.
And so almost to the point of absurdity, where they make it, okay, we started off easy. We're just going to give you more money. Okay, that's fine. Okay, the rest of your coworkers, they're not making as much, but I'm making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Fine. I can maybe live with that choice. But as he goes up that corporate ladder, he's faced with more and more somewhat ridiculous and absurd and difficult choices. Okay, what if this money comes with a lot of extra strings? How many more strings are you willing to accept to take home that paycheck? So these, I think it's a great movie for those who, quite frankly, work for a living, work for somebody else, and have to make those choices when you're, or even somewhat of a middle management type scenario. Where you're not at the top, but you're not at the bottom either.
Now, one thing I want you to think about, and maybe the viewers out there that have already seen the movie, or perhaps think about this after you've seen the movie, is that Cassius Green, he ascends the corporate ladder for his own benefit, and they are paying him a whole lot of money, right? That being said, where does he end up? The same place as everybody else, right?
Well, that may be true, but we don't want to give that.
I don't want to give that away, but
you're right. He does end up in the same place as everybody else,
which I think.
And in the process, he jeopardizes his relationship with his girlfriend, who's played by Tessa Thompson.
Right.
So, not to give anything away or anything more away, is that there are quite a few scenes in here that are quite compelling. There's a lot of things that are going on in the background. A lot of the things like the game show, and it's a little bit of a commentary about what's going on in this country, social commentary. The effects of fame over everything else. Things like racial injustices, as well as social injustices, things of that nature. And there's a lot of symbolism, all of it, which that even I didn't catch. But it's overall, I think it's a great movie. It's not a movie for everyone. I caution, it's not a movie for everyone. It's not something. It's a movie that makes you think. And if you're not willing to go in there with an open mind and really realize that it's not going to be a straightforward type of piece of entertainment, it really is a piece that you'll be thinking about and talking about for a long time after you leave the theater. But I think it's being touted as like the Labor Day movie.
Yeah, could be.
Kind of like the way, let's say A Wonderful Life is kind of like a Christmas movie, and so I think this is a great movie for like a Labor Day setting, and I think over time it will become a classic, maybe a cult hit.
I think it's going to be a cult hit. I think once people
get over the initial shock.
Well, that's the thing, is that I had no idea what it was. I remember seeing a trailer for it, thinking it was just like a comedy about it.
I thought it was just a comedy.
About a black guy who ascends the corporate ladder just by having a really white, and he has his voice is probably whiter than mine. I don't know. It's pretty freaking
it's absurdly white. But that's the whole point. They're making everything an exaggeration,
and there's one point in the movie that's a little bit, maybe telling, or I don't know. You could read into this as much as you want. Where Cassius, he becomes where he's speaking the white guy voice so much that he actually starts talking like that at home without realizing it. He just kind of like, I don't know.
And the other black character, in the Power Collar Elites, he tells him never break character. You just never break out of the white voice character that got you where you need to be. You just can never break out of that. And that was kind of an interesting take. So overall, I say it's a very interesting, original piece. Thought provoking. Give it a try. You may not want to see it in the theater, but when it becomes available at home, I would suggest you watch it.
Yeah, definitely. Check it out. It's something that might have you thinking.
You'll be thinking and talking about this movie for a long time.
Heck yeah. Anyway, or if you've already seen it, let us know what you think of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, great.
Well, thank you. We'll see you next